Welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Lebbing, and I love seeing business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs have massive success in their businesses. Are you ready to reach a higher level in your business? Are you looking to rise to the top and break through the barriers that are holding you back? If this is you, join us on the Mind for Success podcast. Hi, and welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Lebbing, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 limiting beliefs that are common that I hear from business owners and entrepreneurs that can really hold us back, and give you a little picture of where or what that might be and how you can shift that. So first, I want to talk a little bit about what these limiting beliefs are, how they develop, and kind of go into that a little bit. So a limiting belief is just that. It's a belief. A lot of times they are developed a long time ago we have what I describe as filters. You may have heard it described a different way, but usually before the age of 7. And this is the programming that we receive where information comes in, we see it a certain way, and then we choose to believe it at that time. And maybe at that time it was something that we needed, something that helped us to get through whatever thing we were going through at the time when we were little. And then the belief sticks with us. It sticks with us, and then it plays out in our behavior. So quick story, one of my own is when I was about 4 years old, I was playing in my room. I had, at the time, my sister wasn't born yet. And so I had, all these toys, Barbies and things, and my room was just a mess, huge mess, like you could hardly walk through it kind of thing. And I'm sure if you have kids, you can relate to this, right? Well, my dad walked in and he just totally lost it. Like, this is a mess, you got to clean it up. And he was yelling and, whatever. And that ended up being a little bit of a recurring theme throughout my childhood with leaving messes. What my filter ended up being was what I ended up believing and doing as a child. And I needed to survive. What I felt like I needed to do to survive was I needed to be more quiet. I needed to make sure I didn't make a mess. And so I associated having fun, being playful with possibly getting in trouble. And I did my best to make myself be small and unseen because I didn't want to get in trouble. So that getting in trouble was like a big theme for me. And so that stuck with me. That was one of my filters that became a belief. And then that played out in my business, in my relationships. I would try and play small. I would try and not be seen. And it really affected my day to day. So, and it wasn't until I identified those and worked through those that I was able to shift that so that, it's not a problem anymore. So that's an example of how it can happen. And maybe it doesn't even have to be anything traumatic or, maybe not yelled at. Maybe you were just talked to or you perceive something a little bit different. It can be something that doesn't feel traumatic, and it can still your filter or your subconscious mind can take that on, and then it can play out in certain ways that affect us as adults. So 3 of the beliefs, now I want to get to what I was going to talk to about. 3 of the beliefs that I see people sometimes take on, entrepreneurs. One is, I don't have time. I hear this a lot, like they want to start doing something and implementing something, and I don't have time, comes up almost immediately with a lot of things. And while that may be true, like maybe your schedule really is full, there's truth to some of that. There's also, okay, if this is something that's going to move your business forward, something that you see as valuable, then the real thing is it's not a priority. Maybe you don't want it bad enough, or maybe you don't think you're worthy of it. And those reasons of why it might not be a priority, you don't want it, or maybe you don't think you're worthy of having it, those things are part of the filter that I spoke about earlier. And an easy way that you can shift that is by asking yourself a question. So instead of, I don't have time, and if it really is something that's aligned with you and you really feel like it's something that would help you grow, but I don't have time keeps coming up, ask yourself, well, how could I make time for this? Just flip the question, flip the script. How could I make time? And just by doing that, it activates your brain in a different way. It activates that reticular activating system, a little part of your brain that helps you focus on things. And it helps you look for the solutions instead of focusing on, I don't have time, and going into all those excuse modes that we do. So we all do it, but it's a simple question of asking it in a different way that can make all the difference. Okay. The second belief that I see entrepreneurs make is I can't do it because I'm not organized enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough. I don't have the tools for that. So it's the excuses that come in. And one of the things, and this again, this is a tweak in your language. That's a filter. That's probably a filter. If that's been recurring, I can't because, and then fill in the blank. And it's something about you, like I'm not smart, not good enough, or anything like that that's showing up. That's a filter that's showing up, but a way that you could tweak your language to help you slowly shift that would be, I maybe up until recently, I like using this language of referring to a behavior pattern as if it was in the past. So up until recently, I wasn't organized, but that's something I'm working with now. Or you can add yet. You can add the word yet. So I'm not, up until recently, I haven't been organized, but, or I haven't been organized yet. If you add that word yet to the end of it, it implies to your subconscious mind that there's a change coming, that there's something different that's going to happen. And that's key. Little language tweak can make a huge difference. Another way that can show up, I just wanted to throw in this other example. Sometimes people don't want to go to networking events because, well, I'm not good at networking, or I'm not good at that. So add the word yet to the end of that. I'm not good at that yet, or I haven't been a good networker yet. That implies that you're working on it, and so that those shifts can start happening. Little bitty tweak. Okay. The third belief, and this is a deeper one, is I'm not good enough. And when that is a belief that's there, usually people are aware of it, or it may come up as I'm not worthy enough for that. And the way it shows up is it shows up in procrastination. It shows up as fear, and it can show up with maybe not doing what you said you were going to do. It can show up in different ways that disguise it. So if you notice yourself doing that, procrastinating or putting things off, or, fear showing up and just not taking action on something, that would be a check-in. Like, is that something deeper? Is it I'm not worthy, or is it I'm not good enough, or what's the deeper underlying filter that's beneath that? Because when you can get to that deeper thing, it can really make a difference. It can really make a difference, and you can begin to shift it. And one of the things that I learned that was really helpful in the beginning of my journey was just simply journaling about it. Journaling about, where is that showing up? How is it showing up? Is it showing up in other areas? And this is something that I work with my clients with, where we can dig in and identify what those things are and shift those things. But it's also something that, you can begin the process on your own and be journaling a bit about it. So when you get to the other side of that, it's so huge. So imagine what your business would be like if you were no longer procrastinating. Or imagine what your business would be like if I'm not worthy was no longer a problem, no longer showing up for you. What opportunities would be there? What, how many new clients would you get? How many new customers would you get? What would show up for you if that was no longer a belief? So, and I like to paint that out for you, because when you can see that, there is motivation to change the pattern. And it's important if you're an entrepreneur, we're all on this journey. And I find that the personal growth piece, mindset, it affects so many other things. And having the right mindset helps us be more aligned with what we're doing. And then everything flows. Everything flows better, faster. And you feel as a person more at peace, and things come a lot easier in your business and in your relationships too, because they're all connected. They are all 100% connected. So to recap, the 3 beliefs: I don't have time. You can tweak your language on that and ask yourself, how can I have more time to fit this thing that feels aligned with me in? The second thing is, I can't because, and I can't because I'm not, good at networking or whatever. Add the word yet to the end of it. It's a little bit of a brain trick, but that tweak in language really helps you get out of your own head and get unstuck. And the third thing is if there's a deeper thing, and a lot of times there is, with I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of, whatever this new endeavor is, or this bigger goal that I have is, that's something deeper. And I would invite you to dive in, or if you feel inspired or aligned with it, reach out to me, and I'd love to hop on a call with you. So thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will see you on the next one.
Are you ready to break through the barriers that are holding you back and reach a higher level in your business in just 4 hours? Be sure to click the link today and join other high-achieving professionals that have worked with Kimberly Lebbing to accelerate their success.